Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus, guys, giving you more of the meta. So once again, I'm going to be showing you guys some defensive gameplay and also offensive gameplay. I'm going to show you me leveraging the Carolina Panthers on defense, but also going to be showing you some of the plays that I like to run out of the Vikings offensive playbook. And you can access this if you want to see my off-meta formations that I like to use out of the Vikings playbook. So if you guys are league players or people that are just looking for something different, you can get access to my Patreon, my offensive playbook. So this is a game where the guy's not a good player, but even a good player can get easy touchdowns and stuff like that if you're out of position, you don't have the right defense up to somebody. But he was someone that ran a lot of mesh, and after the second time he ran it, I went ahead and jumped into a defense that pretty much shuts down mesh. And a lot of mesh spammers basically get shut down by this defense, and I'll show you how easy it is to run. I've featured this before on the channel, but people are still looking for ways to recent ways to shut down mesh, and very easy defense to run, and it's very, very effective. Now, when I do run my defenses, I do run base aligned, and I also do run my defenses on conservative for the option play because I want to basically take out the quarterback. He comes out of I-form close, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and run a real generic defense against this guy, see what kind of a player he is. Go with cover 4 drop. He goes to the outside, he gets a second and 13, and right here I'm thinking, okay, this guy didn't have a very good run, he's behind the sticks. He comes out empty, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to jump into a play I featured in the channel before, and it's going to be basically that 43 even 61 play. In particular, it's going to be that the one play which is going to be the blitz off the edge. I actually go ahead and select it, but I'm supposed to flip it, so I flipped it right here. And then I've got 3 wide receivers on the left side. I got a wide receiver on the right side. I got to pull this guy down, and it does get picked up by his offensive line. I'm sending 5 and then trying to use 0-6 down to the mug, but I've got a linebacker on his fastest wide receiver. So there was just a complete mismatch. Goff is going to go ahead and deliver that. You can see it was an easy touchdown for him. So you got a big play against me. Caught me off guard. It is what it is. I probably should have just stayed generic drop defense and just see how this guy can work him down the field. But, I got greedy. I got him into the second and 13. Now, so I want to show you once again, I'm going to be showing you some offense out of the Vikings playbook. Not a lot of plays because I pretty much shredded this guy, but I also have breakdowns of West Coast, Jets offense, the Texans offense. So a lot of this stuff is plays that I throw into my scheme. Spread is very in-depth. I've got over 30 different videos and ebooks and stuff like that to take a look at it. So if you guys are looking for ways to be more effective with your offense, that's what you do. Now, when I do play, I always come out of inside zone, and the reason why I do inside zone is because I want to use these blocking markers to kind of give me a read on the defense. If you can see, this guy's slightly shaded to the outside, so I know that this is a kind of situation where this guy's running some type of a defense where right here he's got shaded to the outside, too high safety, so I'm expecting this might be some type of a cover 2 shell. But here's a tell with this. Let's see how this guy's completely lined up on my side right here. He should, if it's a true cover 2, he'll be shaded on the inside of that marker. So I figured I'm just going to go ahead and jump into cover 2 beater, cover 3 beater. So I jump into this play. This is really good against pumps coverages, cover 3 match, and all this kind of stuff. It's going to be shock H option. I'm going to go ahead and jump into that. And then what I do is I streak up the tight end. Because what this does is it allows me to go ahead and attack right here, and then also if this guy kind of plays a deep half, I can hit my opponent over the top, and if this defender actually floats up, I've got this underneath route here too. And what I love about this route concept right here is that this will be wide open against a lot of zone coverages. So my first read is going to be this guy right here, and then I'm going to look to this guy, and then I'll look underneath to these guys that we really want to be looking for. So I'm going to look for a defender that's going to be over. You can see that he's completely uncovered. These guys are completely outside. He's actually using in the area. So I'm going to look for that tight end right in the middle. Pop it real quick because the defender's out of position, but he gets a nice knockout animation with his defensive back over the top. So that was a right read, right play. In that type of situation, he goes into the buck slant 3, which shows cover 2 on the outside, but it really is a cover 3 shell, and he was using the blitzing linebacker. So or the blitzing cornerback that he was using. So now I go ahead and jump into. I was looking for a stretch play that I like to run a lot. I actually jump into a trips, single back trips set, and you can see the defender stops. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to flip the play if no one carries over, because that's going to give me 3 blockers to his side, and then he pulls 2 defenders over there. So I snapped it as is. You can see these guys are pulling out of position. So now I just have to get to the outside, pass this defender, and I've got one of the fastest running backs in the game. And I'm able to go ahead and get the ball for a 6-yard gainer. So that's really not a bad situation. If you're picking up more than 4 yards in the game on offense, you're winning at the running game, because it makes your running game a lot more efficient. Now, typically what I do come out of inside zones, so once again it kind of gives me a read. This is a new formation I threw into my scheme. It's a bunch wide. I don't use a lot of bunch sets, but the way my audible's set up, I can audible. I can take advantage of leverages against my opponent. So right here, I've got a couple defenders off to the right, and I'm just going to jump into this particular play. Usually this is going to be my first read. Is this quick out? I can go underneath 2, 3, and then I'll look to 4 over here, because usually this guy is going to get carried over the top. So that's going to be my next read right there. I'm going to take a look at. So Waddle, I just don't like the leverage. I should be checking it down to the running back with defenders on the backside, but you can see that little crossing route with Hill picks up a first down for me. I get a 1st and 10 situation against them. So right here, you can see how these defenders are outside like this. I'm reading this is 0. I'm seeing 0 coverage. He's going to be an aggressive blitz. These guys are coming in. So a play I like to use is this play, which is actually choice pivot out of the tight gun offset. And what I do is I'll block these guys, and I'll take this guy and actually put him on a drag, because this route takes a little bit too long, because I'm looking for this route coming over the middle of the field, because that's usually where I have one of my fastest wide receivers. So watch me go ahead and set this up. I quickly audible into it, max protect, and then I'm going to drag up that outside tight end. And I'm going to watch, and you can see he gets himself out of position. Not a very good defensive player, and as a result, Waddle's able to go and get that reception, and I'm able to go ahead and get the ball into the end zone for a quick touchdown for myself. So a fairly fast drive right there, just exploring some of the different plays that I use to read, try to read against my coverage. Now, he jumps into gun, bunch X nasty. I'm in penny. I'm going to go ahead and put my cornerback in the slot position. Just makes my audibles a lot easier when I make adjustments in the backfield. So I go ahead and do that. And like my cover 6, I'm a big cover 6 player. You guys have seen me for the longest time. Cover 6 match, just something that I've been using a lot online. He's using bunch X nasty, and basically slide my guys over. He's got an extra defender off to the right, or a wide receiver off to the right, and he puts him in an auto motion. And this is like an inside whip with a corner route and a drag, and I actually throws into coverage, but I actually bump him, and as a result I take a pass interference call right there. So he actually gets a 1st and 10, 8-yard gainer right there. So now he jumps into single back wing pair, and this is where I'm going to use 4-4. But if you guys watched the previous gameplay by me, I didn't make the correct adjustment, but I think I do here. I'm going to go ahead and match this guy up to this wide receiver, so I've got basically someone that's going to follow with him, and I'm going to take this guy down in the box and look for anything that's crossing over the middle of the field. I'm sending 7 people, so there's going to be someone in the backfield against me. I'm not really worried about anything out here. Most people don't, when they do the wing formations, they don't throw the flats. They're always doing some type of crossing stuff, post over the middle, some type of a flat. Those are the kind of concepts, you got passing concepts you see. I shift everybody over to take away the run. He goes ahead and motions the guy over. There's an auto motion play, so I shift my line off, offensive line off the side. And right here you can see I've got the matching principles. He's looking for the guy over the top. And as a result, he misses it. I get pressure in there, get him to a 2nd and 18 situation. So right there, I actually go ahead and do that. Now I go ahead and try to jump into, I think I jump into odd formation defensively. And see if I went in the quarter. So now I'm just using cover 4 drop. I'm going to just blitz the house, send everything his way because he's not really making fast reads. He hits me with mesh. So this is the first time he shows me mesh. Basically, he's got a mesh concept like so. He's just got a post. He's got a wheel. He's got the little stick route right here. and the pressure's not in. He actually makes the right read, gets a good animation with Williams. Bad stick by him, and as a result, he actually gets the ball down to the 45-yard line. So now I jump into a different formation. I'm going to go into the nickel over. I figured I'm just going to go ahead and hit him with these bunch nasty. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into cover 4 quarters with the anticipation that he's kind of probably trying to use some type of flood concept. Does another auto motion here. And the auto motion is another series of mesh. So he's got this guy coming up. He's got this guy coming over here. He's got a mesh, and the auto motioned a wheel, which is mesh once again. So I've got quarters. I had to basically cover this guy right here, and he's got an underneath route that's actually coming open, and actually goes and hits the crosser right there. And luckily for me, he catches it out of bounds because he makes a slow read. So he hit me twice in a row with kind of like a mesh concept. So I see gun tight open. Anytime I see tight formations, I always think someone's going to run mesh against me. So the key to this shutting down mesh is just running cover 3, hard flats, base aligned. You want to have base align on because when you have base align on, you're going to get yourself a lot better leverage, and it's going to be harder for him to make his progressions with base align. So that's the key with this particular defensive set when you see someone that runs a lot of mesh. So you can see right here, I'm in cover 3, bunch up my line, take away and kind of run, and sure enough, he dials up another type of mesh concept somewhere. So he's got this guy right here, got this guy right here. He's got a crossing route over the side. He's got basically a mesh concept. I take away his first read, carry to this next read. He doesn't know where to go with it. This guy should be throwing the ball out right now. This is where you know he's a bad player, because he actually tries to reverse with Goff, and he takes a monster sack. So it's a 21-yard sack right there in a 2nd and 10 situation. So now I man a line. I'm like, okay, this guy's not making fast decisions. I'm just going to hit this guy with a nickel blitz. So in other words, if he tries to hit me with like an open formation, I'm going to have my best defensive backs over those guys. Blitz all, pull my safety down in the box to try to preoccupy the center. Don't actually get into the box, but you can see the pressure comes in because he runs basically mesh again. You had the running back, but he just couldn't get the ball off quick enough because that cover 1 hole blitz is really, really good. So now he's actually in a wing formation, similar formation right here, and I'm just going to blitz everybody. I'm like, you're not going to beat me over the top. You've got your best wide receiver with my best defensive back. I'm just going to go ahead and blitz you, and as a result, he gets to that. So this guy's just basically tanking right now. He's just completely he just pretty much lost this entire situation, because all I'm just doing is hit this guy with man blitzes, and as a result, he actually goes ahead and punts the ball away against me, and I go ahead and get the ball down here onto the 40-yard line. So go back into the inside zone to read the coverages, and I'm seeing basically a cover 2 shell, and I'm going to go ahead and jump into this formation, which is going to be the shock option, streak up the inside slot receiver. And I think what he did is he actually kind of makes an adjustment with this. Now, actually, he's in cover 3. I do a deep comeback route here because if it isn't any match principles, I want to basically have a release over the top of him. So that's the one adjustment I do. But look at this. This guy kind of comes out. This guy comes out. He's sticking, and I'm one-on-one with my best wide receiver, arguably one of the best wide receivers in the game. So I'm just thinking, okay, I'm just going to loft this up. Got plenty of time with my offensive line. His defensive line is really not that good. He was able to go and catch the ball. He clicks off, and I get an easy touchdown against this guy, and he just checks out after that. So once again, guys, thanks for your support. I just want to kind of show you, just a simple defense that you can use online to really mess with people's reads. And then if you you get them behind the sticks, you get them in a situation where it's long yardage type of situations. That's when you send the dogs after him and just say, hey, make some reads. This guy was not a great player, but sometimes you can run into people that are really not that good, but can get away with stuff because you just don't have a way to stop any particular plays that they'd like to mix into their scheme. So yeah, that's why you want to have some type of a defensive scheme for certain types of looks and formations, and have it into your scheme. So if you like this breakdown, if you like to see how I run my offense, you can go to my Patreon. Thanks for support, guys. Until next time.